All right. Welcome back to the Green Logbook. Is this thing on? Can you all hear me? All right. Yeah, supposed to go live at 1 o'clock today. That's fine. My apologies, but I got appointments came up and something. Life happens. Life happens, right? So happy to be back on here with you folks on the Green Logbook. Also streaming to the Military Retirement Podcast. So it's going to be all good. So yes, today it's all about connections. So that's exactly where I just came from. Made a connection with another fellow veteran, and it kind of came out of the blue, but it was all good because I definitely welcomed it. This gentleman reached out saying, "Hey, we know some of the same people. We are part of the same networks. How about we stop and or we hang out and get some coffee together?" And that's exactly what we did. So right now I'm not drinking coffee, as the thumbnail says. Right now I'm drinking some canned water, it looks like, but I've had way too many coffees today. So let's see here. All right. Welcome everybody who's joining on the live stream. Today it's all about connections. We as veterans, we need to connect with each other, okay? Have each other's back, I believe. And as I was mentioning, I just came from a meeting with another veteran who this gentleman is a retired Navy Chief Warrant Officer 5, and we definitely hit it off. We had the same networks, and especially hitting it off as both retired Chief Warrant Officers. It was good to kind of sit down and have some coffee with someone, get out of these four walls, as I usually mention, and go out and experience real life, right? Hold on a second here. I'm getting text messages. So, all right. So here, I'm going to put on the live stream chat. If anybody wants to connect, anybody out there in YouTube world wants to connect, jump on the live stream. Let's make a connection. Let's talk. Let's share some drinks and talk about veteran connections here, whatever's on your mind. And I actually wrote down some potential topics on here. Stolen valor is one of them. I write down a lot of notes, and stolen valor came up, and also stuff that was going on with Senator Mark Kelly. Like, don't want to get too much into the politics of stuff, but if you had any questions about like UCMJ stuff, I'm pretty well versed in all that. Did that. That took a lot of my career in the military, and if you have any questions about that, I'd be happy to engage with you. So here is the live stream link. Starting off a little bit later today. It was supposed to, usually I go on at about maybe 9:30 in the morning on Mondays and Wednesdays. Had a couple of appointments today, but couldn't get out of those things. As is life, we got to take care of ourselves as well. So yeah, live stream link is on there. If you want to jump on and talk a little bit about what's going on in your life, maybe you're a retiree, maybe you're a veteran yourself, and you want to talk about how your military civilian transition is going. Everybody's military civilian transition is different. I've met folks who have a great military civilian transition. They find a job that they love, they go into work with that, and they kind of stay there. Maybe they're in federal employment, maybe they're working with another veteran organization, and they or maybe something completely outside of that, and they stay there and they love it. And there's other folks who maybe don't know their way, don't know their path, and are trying to find what's next in their life. And I've been a little bit of both myself, So if you want to jump on and talk about it, maybe comment in the comments. Let me know how things are going for you after military service. It's not always easy. It isn't. And again, like I was just mentioning, I just sat down and had some coffee at a local coffee shop here with a retired Navy retired Chief Warrant Officer 5, and we were in the same circles. You know, we knew each other from I've seen him around LinkedIn, and I've showed up to like VFW events and stuff like that, and I've seen this gentleman around, but never thought really to connect. So he actually reached out. He's like, "Hey, just want to connect, have some coffee, maybe some small talk, see who you are." I've seen you kind of around these events, so always fun to connect with folks. And I told him all about the podcast here, and he runs a nonprofit. So, maybe I'll share a little bit about his nonprofit here shortly. But I'm all about giving good nonprofits some shout outs and, of course, getting the word out about what fellow veterans are doing these days. So, yeah, starting off a little bit later than normal today. Usually start off at 9:30 in the morning Pacific Standard Time. Went live at 1:30, just about 1:20 or so. Had a couple appointments today. You know, if you miss a like if you have to reschedule a VA appointment, that's how they do you, right? Like, hey, our next available is like 8 months from now. I'm like, well, no, hold on. I'll take what you have right now. I don't care if it's 6 in the morning. I'll take what you got right now. So, I can't let those things go. Navy cop, man, good seeing you, man. Yeah, a little later than normal, but it is what it is. The show must go on, and decided, you know what? Uh, yeah, let's get on this and live stream. Yes, exactly. Never reschedule a VA appointment. There's two things you don't reschedule: your CMP appointment when you're doing your VA disability claim, and your VA appointment, because you may not get one for a long time. I recall asking about an appointment when I was doing my CMP exams. They set me up with an appointment that was 3 hours away, 3 hours away from my location. And it was for a 30-minute eye exam where they would dilate my eyes, maybe 30, 45 minutes or so. And when I asked about it before I went to the appointment, hey, can I reschedule this? And they said, you can, but it's going to be several months down the road, and you're going to miss the time frame for your BDD, your benefits delivery or discharge. So I said, you know what? Forget that trash. I'll take the appointment that's 3 hours away, I suppose. And that was crazy. Has anybody else had that experience where their CMP appointments are like hours away? I had to ask my wife to take off work to take me to this place. But yeah, hey, Navy cop, always good to see you, man. How is the website going? I know you're always working on that stuff, man, and trying to implement the AI stuff. Awesome. Buddy check. It was a buddy check project, I believe it was. Buddy check project. I'm pulling up some of these things. I don't have social media on my phone, so I can only check like Facebook and all the stuff when I come on the desktop. So I'm here on my computer right now. I'm going to check Facebook here really quick. I do run a group called the Military Retirement Group. You don't necessarily need to be a military retiree to join that group. There's a lot of awesome folks on there, awesome veterans on there who maybe have done 40 years and just want to connect with a group of fellow veterans, want to get information. It's a thing of comfort. I feel like you know these folks, you know what they're about. You've all served, and you want to connect with these folks. But I got to log on here every day because I constantly get our requests to join this group. And I think today I have 6 requests. This week I've approved maybe 13. So plus 6, math for Marines, that makes it what, 19? Let's see, Charlton Zimmerman. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. All I know is enlisted have it rougher than officers after service for civilian employment after active in 1981. Took a state civil service test and got turned down at a maintenance position. Yeah, I'd say I would agree with that to an extent. It's a lot of your network as well, a lot of your qualifications as well. I know many enlisted who are doing great things. I also know many enlisted who have up to service and they are having troubles finding a job. Same as officers. Um, so it's a lot of it is the networking. A lot of it is your qualifications as well. Let's see here, Navy cop. All mine were local, thankfully. Was told I can reschedule once, and then if I needed to reschedule again, the item I was being seen for would be auto denied by the VA. Rough system. Yeah, it is a rough system. Yeah, they really told me like if I wanted to reschedule my eye appointment, um, that it would be like 5 months down the road. I'm like, really? There's nobody in like this area. Like I'm in a very, there's a lot of hospitals where I am around where I live. There's a lot of uh, clinics, optometrists. I'm like, really? There's nobody else except for this one optometry office 3 hours away that I can go see for the CMP exam. And sure enough, they're like, nope, that's who's available. That's who we have on contract. Either you see them or you may lose out on submitting your BDD claim. Well, it is what it is. I'll conform to your standards and do whatever the hell I need to do to get my CMP exam done then within a timely manner, because I did not want to bust that BDD clock. It was between 180 and 90 days prior to your EAS, end of active service. And thankfully, that worked out wonderfully, because 11 days after I EAS'd, 11 days after I was end of active service, like no longer on active duty, I received my VA disability rating. And then I think the following month is when, payments and stuff started coming in for retirement and all that good stuff. So yeah, if anybody out there who's listening who maybe is not retired yet and is about to submit their BDD claim, understand that, it's an awesome system. I don't know how long it's been around, but other folks that I know who have not done the BDD and have done the traditional VA disability claim, holy crap, there's been like backlogs and it's taken them like a year and all that. Immense time. But Navy Cop MA1, yes, it's coming along. Yes, sir. Yeah, always fun to check out the website and see what exactly you're implementing, man. If you can, please share the website again. I think it is Buddy Check Project. Let me see if I have the banner for it here. I don't have it. Oh, here we go. BuddyCheckProject.com. I think it is /book. I don't know why I have this on there /books, but BuddyCheckProject.com. Navy Cop is building a website with a bunch of veteran resources. So check it out, BuddyCheckProject.com. Awesome spot. Shout out to Navy Cop, member of the Green Logbook. Shout out to Navy Cop for what he's doing with that wealth of information. Let's see. Let's go back to the comments here. Charlton Zimmerman, sorry, I disagree. At interview for position, I was told a civilian buddy of the department got the job over me. They had to interview me because of veteran status. Yeah, I mean, I can see that. Unfortunately, that's how it worked out, man. I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know. I don't know what to say to that. Only that, your mileage may vary. I just happen to know many folks who have success and maybe folks who have failures with finding a job after leaving the service or retiring. Let's see. There you cop MA1 posted it just above the last comment. Oh, okay. Excellent. check it out here. Yeah. So the topic that I want to choose today is, coming together as veterans, sharing maybe some experiences, maybe some coffee, maybe some networking along the way. Like I mentioned, I just finished just meeting up with a fellow retiree. This gentleman was a retired Navy Chief Warrant Officer 5, who mentioned that, hey, we are on the same, we know the same people for the most part. We have a lot of the same networks on LinkedIn. And, he just invited me out. He's like, hey, how about grabbing a cup of coffee and just talking for a little bit? And it was so good to connect with somebody like that, like just a wealth of information, as, constantly try to figure out where they fit in after they leave the service, going to work for an organization, then finding that maybe this other organization is a better fit for them, then starting their own thing, and just going from there. And it was super cool to connect with this gentleman. Now he runs a nonprofit. He's the director of military affairs for Wave Neuroscience. Wave Neuroscience. So I'm going to do some research on this and then share some of this information on there. But I would have never known about this stuff that he does. Apparently they came up with something where you don't have to take all this anxiety and depression medication. They actually have this thing where they do a brain scan and they can evaluate, what is going on in your head, and then treat you from there based on some kind of magnetics that they put on your brain, not on your brain, but on your head. So again, I'm going to do more research on this. I'll be sharing more information on that as it goes along. Maybe I'll even be a guinea pig for this. I don't know. But let's see here. Not the first time I've heard that. We've become a had to interview due to our status versus a best to hire because of our status and experience. Yeah. Kind of going back to the interview stuff. I've even had people on here who have mentioned, like, maybe they won't even comment that they, or include that they are a veteran on their interview or on their resume. I don't know why. I think it gives you, like with USA Jobs, it gives you like 30 points or something, or 10 points, I believe it is. I know, like, when I held a federal position, I was a supervisor. We had a gentleman who got the position. Well, we had to interview him, right? And he was prior Navy, I believe. He had the points on there because he has some kind of disability rating. And there were certain things we could ask him, certain things we couldn't. Of course, I couldn't ask him, like, are you in a wheelchair or anything like that? But the job required being able to lift, I think it was like 40 or 50 pounds or so. It was like a supply job. And, you do have a human resources person in the interview with you to make sure that the correct questions are being asked. So I had to kind of ask my question in a roundabout manner, like, the job requires this. Are you able to fulfill those duties? And the gentleman said yes. So I'm like, hey, no further questions. You can do it. Fine with me. Let's see here. Charlton Zimmerman. Man, you were active today, man. Thank you for being active on the chat. Just so you know, didn't cry about it. Put in the work at federal employment as a WG grade in Philadelphia. So many other veterans worked there. I was home. Excellent, man. I'm glad you found that. And no, I don't think that you cried about it, brother. It is kind of a kick to the backside sometimes when you feel like you're fit for a position and you just don't get it. I felt the same way. I applied for a position at a local university for the veterans liaison, helping out at the Veterans Center. And I honestly felt like I was a shoo-in for this position. I was like, I meet every wicket with this. I check off every box. I felt like this position was made for me. I went and interviewed. I had a great time interviewing. I knew what they were asking. They asked about, hey, tell me about chapter 35. I got you. Tell me about chapter 31. I got you. Tell me about Bjarni. I got it. So, because I work with this stuff all the time, right? Just doing this channel. And I didn't get the job. And I wondered, like, what, why? I mean, was there somebody else that was better equipped to handle the job than I was? And who knows? Who knows why? I mean, we don't cry about it. We just move on. And I'm glad you did, Charlton Zimmerman. Excellent stuff. So, has anybody in the audience connected with another veteran lately? If you have, I'd love to hear about your conversations about what you connected about. Um, how what you're doing to step outside of your four walls and go and make meaningful connections with other people. That was my big thing. Is after I retired, after I left the military, I was kind of in limbo here. Like, I didn't have a job. I was on terminal leave. My wife would go to work. My kids would go to school, and I was kind of stuck in my four walls all day, and it was driving me nuts. I thought it was going to be awesome. Oh, I don't have to go to work anymore. I'm good. I can do whatever I want. I'm free. But it was a little rough, to be honest. Right? Not having something to do, not having a purpose is a little rough. And I'm curious to folks out there, like, how did you find what you wanted to do? How did you find your purpose? How did you find your passion to do what you wanted to do after military service? A lot of folks, I still get emails from folks who don't know what they want to do. And I let them know, hey, I'm not a doctor. I'm not your attorney. I'm not a psychologist or anything like that. I would just tell you what I would do in the situation that you were in. So, and a lot of folks, I've gotten several emails and they tell me a whole lot. And I'm like, please don't include HIPAA information. Please don't include PII information because I can't look at that stuff. Let's see. All right. Navy cop. What do you got, brother? All right. I've had two of those jobs that I was passed over for. Really defeating. I can throw out guesses as to why, but they would be guesses, educated, but guesses nonetheless. Yeah. I completely get it. Tony Slaughter, my man, welcome back. Hey, everyone going to work soon. Awesome. This is part of my work. This is what I do part of the time. I do a lot of coaching, counseling, and then I love coming on here and just talking to folks, talking to veterans, seeing what they're about, seeing how I can help out. Big thing I was looking at yesterday was, let me see, there was this gentleman, I don't know if I call him a gentleman, there's this dude in Minnesota who was, it looks like he had like stolen valor or something. He was claiming he was a Marine. He claimed he got the Purple Heart. He basically swindled the VA out of $140,000 in payments and medical expenses and all that stuff. And people are pissed about it. People are pissed, and rightfully so. I mean, these are hard-earned benefits. You can read it online. Stolen Valor, Minnesota. I just had somebody, I went to an event. It's like a kid's event for my kid, right? Recently. And I came across this lady. My kid was wearing all this military gear. I got these totes in my garage where I keep all my military gear, like LBV gear, just like old uniforms and things like that. So my kid likes to go in there and just like, young kid, he likes to dress up and stuff, and he was going to go to this party, and that he took some of my stuff with him, and then there was a conversation that came up and they were asking, hey, your kid's all decked out in all his military gear, man. Where'd he get that? I'm like, oh, I was in the Marine Corps. I still got a bunch of gear, a bunch of my gear in my totes. And somebody had asked me about my military service. And I'm like, yeah, I did 20 years in the Marine Corps and retired. And this person asked me what rank. They're like, what were you, like, an E3 or E6 or what were you? I'm like, oh no, I was a chief warrant officer, and they're like, what is that? And I'm like, okay, well, I got to go and explain because not a lot of people know what chief warrant officers are. And I actually felt like I was being challenged on that. Like, yeah, I know that the military has, commissioned officers like O1s, and I know they have like enlisted like E6s. Like, what is even a chief warrant officer? So I had to explain it. They're like, yeah, what? Like they weren't getting it, and they were challenging me on it. I'm like, well, I guess you got to be there. Yeah, I had to pull up my phone and show them, hey, look, this is me in uniform. Um, but I didn't feel good about it because they were challenging me like, "Oh, your rank doesn't exist." Well, also, you may not know what the hell you're talking about. So let me educate you on this really quick. Chief Warrant Officer is a specialist in a military occupational specialty. Like they're like I don't know. We know everything about some sort of occupational specialty. If you're in the infantry, you're a Marine gunner, you're a weapons specialist, right? So it's yeah, Tony Slaughter. I should have told him it's the best of both worlds, right? When you pick up chief warrant officer, you have to salute the entire Marine Corps or the entire Navy or everything. The enlisted salute you, and you got to salute the other commissioned officers. So your arm never goes down. Navy cop, here we go. There was a SEAL Team 6 guy on the Sean Ryan show who dropped his son off at school and was talking to another kid's dad that claimed he was from Team 6 as well around the same time. Funny story. It is. It is. And I was, and the reason I thought I was being challenged by this person was because it said, huh, like they gave me like a shifty eye, like, I'm going to have to look into that. Your rank and all that stuff. What years did you serve? What unit were you with? I was like, I'm sorry, were you in the military at some point? And then this person mentioned I was slated to go to OCS, Officer Candidate School. And I say, oh, okay, cool. What service? What branch? And they're like, oh, they all wanted me. That was the literal thing that came out of their mouth. It was for all branches. I'm like, I don't know if that's how it works, man. But yeah, that's awesome. I just kept going with their story. They were there with their family, so I didn't immediately jump at them and say, "Hey, stolen valor, what the hell are you talking about?" or whatever. Why are you challenging me? But yeah, that's not how OCS works. Right? They all wanted me. Let's see who we got here. Veteran Broken. Bro, it's a sad day right now, man. They just had 2 National Guard get shot in Washington, D.C. That's unfortunate, man. I'm gonna have to look that up later. That is unfortunate. I very much I don't yeah, I don't like hearing that stuff. I mean, it's a reality, but when somebody signs in that dotted line and they choose to serve for a purpose that's bigger than themselves, that takes a it takes a lot, and then to get shot over, your service. I don't know the reasons behind it. I haven't researched it. I'm just hearing this right now about the National Guard, the 2 guardsmen that were killed in DC. But man, tragedy. It's always crazy in DC. Always had to watch my back. Yeah. I don't know. I've been to DC many times. I was just there a few months ago with my family. We were walking out there. Well, it was a few months ago. It was during the Army's 250th birthday parade. We just so happened that we were out there around that time. It was probably this past summer. We were taking my son to Annapolis, Maryland, because he wants to go to the Naval Academy. So we were doing the summer sessions out there, and we took a trip out to DC, which is very close. I mean, I didn't feel unsafe at all. If it was a nice area, we were walking by, and we went down to the park and Lincoln Memorials and all that stuff. I mean, I'm sure there was amped up security out there too during around this time when they were setting up for the parade. Yeah, Tony slaughtered. I thought I was gonna have to fight a guy in the street. Don't fight a guy in the street, man. I, I think about that sometimes. I as a retiree, as you know, I feel like I have a lot more to lose than some of these knuckleheads who try to challenge me. So I try not to, because then things happen, right? And I think, if anybody out there watches like the Jocko podcast, he mentioned something like, "Hey, if somebody comes to fight me, I'm not going to fight them because you have more to lose than they do potentially." What happens if you take the dude down? What happens if you injure the person? Then you get sued, and then that becomes a whole ordeal for you and potentially your family too. So, me personally, I try to avoid conflict when I go out, especially when I'm out with my family. But that's not to say that I'm aware of my surroundings and understand. Like I don't go places where I know are unsafe. I try to stay away from there. Um, let's see, Tony Slaughter, hate leaving duty calls. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Stay safe from Northeast SE. Uh, no, you got to confirm. Please confirm where that is. They are the hood. Stay away from Northeast SE. Um, they are the hood. Okay. Well, Tony Slaughter, man. Hate that you're leaving, dude. You're always involved in the conversations. I love that, man. But happy Thanksgiving if I don't talk to you between now and then. Let me see. Charlton Zimmerman. Why put uniformed guardsmen unarmed on the streets? It's like Beirut 1984 peacekeeping with no magazine and weapons. Yeah, it doesn't make sense, does it? Tony Slaughter guy was cornering me. Well, I mean, you got to defend yourself too, there, Tony Slaughter. You got to defend yourself too. So, um, not telling you to, you know, inject yourself in conflicts that you don't need to, but you got to defend yourself when the time calls. What is everybody doing for Thanksgiving? Curious. You guys are. Is everybody already set up? You got your dinners already ready to go for tomorrow? Like what's the status of this? As for me, I'm going to be spending time with family, extended family, and having some drinks and having a good time. Folks I have not seen in a while, and folks who I've never seen. So this should be fun. This should be fun. What I won't be doing is engaging in any political conversations because that never that never goes right from what I've seen. Navy cop was stationed out in Dam Neck near Virginia Beach a bunch of years back and made the trip up to DC to check it out and then volunteered to do some work on a museum diesel sub. Was nice then, or so I saw. Or so I saw. Yeah, it looked nice to me when I went. You know, I got to read up on this National Guard, these two National Guards from that, that were shot when up in DC. I got to check that out. Let's see here. I'll put this up on the comments if anybody wants to jump on the live stream. Talk about what they got going on for Thanksgiving. Talk about their time in the military civilian transition, veterans, updates, things like that. I am always down to converse about this stuff. So jump on the live stream. There's your link. Easy day. Like I just mentioned when I was starting the live stream here about connections, about networking, about getting to know other veterans in your community. So I recently sat down right before I jumped on the live stream with a gentleman, a Navy Chief Warrant Officer 5 retired, who sent me a message saying, we have the same networks, on LinkedIn. we've been to the same events. How about we sit down, share some coffee and some laughs and just talk. And I learned so much about this guy. I would have never known had I not done that. So incredible conversation, great stuff. Um, but yeah, it's all about the connections. It's all about the networking. See here, Navy Cop MA1, X has the kids come up to her family's place up north, so we'll see them just before or just after. Otherwise, the cats and me will be hanging out doing cat dad things. You know, I love that, man. And my so we have a cat as well, and I've never been like a cat guy. And it's my wife's cat, right? She wanted a cat. I'm like, okay, well, the cat's here 8 years later, and I often think about this, and maybe it's just like the silly veteran humor in me or whatever, but I always think like I watch the cat and I see how the cat claws on her cardboard thing that we got her, and I think, man, if this cat really wanted to, this cat could take me out in my sleep, just like a slash to the neck or something. So I got to be nice to the cat because the cat comes and goes as she pleases, right inside the bedrooms and stuff. You know, just hanging out on the couch. And I'm like, man, this cat has claws. It could really do some damage to me in my sleep. Just silly things that go through my mind. For everybody out there who's just joining, welcome to the Green Logbook. We're also streaming on the Military Retirement Podcast, and it's all about camaraderie. It's all about connecting with fellow veterans. What are you doing for Thanksgiving? You know, bring up some veteran topics. I put the link to the live stream if you want to jump on the live stream and have some conversations. Talk about what's going on, what you have going on for Thanksgiving. Maybe you have a tradition. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you got a question about some veteran legislation. Maybe you got a question about the UCMJ and if retired folks can be brought back on active duty to get court-martialed, which is a big conversation right now. Technically, yes, but it doesn't happen often. And if you're just joining, please consider liking and subscribing to the Green Logbook. It really does help out the channel, get it in front of more folks. What I'm trying to build here is a community of veterans to have conversations, to talk about issues and just veteran topics, to build camaraderie. Maybe share some coffee if you drink coffee or tea or whatever you drink. But I found that sitting around and just having conversations, whether it be around like a campfire, whether it be at a table, at an event or something like that, really helps out and really builds that camaraderie. That's why I thought, you know what, let me bring this to YouTube. Let me just try it out since I love doing it anyway, and connect with other veterans out there who maybe have questions. Maybe life is not all sunshine and rainbows after you left the military. I know many folks like that. Shit, I was like that not too long ago, trying to find my way. Like, what am I actually supposed to do after I get out of uniform and leave the military? Do I find another 9-to-5 job? Do I start something on my own? And you got folks commenting in the comments saying that it's tough to find a job out there. It is. I agree. Sometimes I put in I put my resume in just to see where it'll go, and sometimes I never get a call back. And actually, just recently, I started getting emails back from USA jobs that I had, from federal jobs that I had applied to like 10 months ago. I'm just now getting emails about them saying, hey, we've canceled that position, or that position is no longer available, or whatever the hell they put out there. So yeah, it is not easy these days, but wondering how folks out there are coping with it. What are you doing? And along with that, what are your plans for Thanksgiving? Let me look at the news here. Since you guys brought up the National Guardsmen, National Guardsmen. Oh yeah. Oh no. Two National Guard members shot near White House, DC shooting updates. Man, and we're hearing so much about how DC is the safest place now. You can go down to a restaurant, with your family, and now this happens, and I'm wondering, how is this going to be all over the news now? You know, this stuff is crazy. Yeah, condolences to those to the families of those two National Guardsmen who were shot near the White House. Guard members were a woman and man, according to law enforcement. Official brief on the situation, and were both in critical condition. West Virginia National Guard. They were just there to support then. They're not from the area. The man believed to be the suspect is in critical condition, law enforcement said. Ah, damn, man, I hate that. So are they not carrying like weapons out there? Is that what's happening? Like these National Guard are just walking around, but they don't have like weapons on them? Let me see. Let me share the screen on what I'm looking at right now. And right before like Thanksgiving too, right? This is ABC News. Two National Guard members shot near White House. Man, a White House official confirmed the White House is currently on lockdown. Trump is currently in Florida, where he's spending Thanksgiving at his Mar-a-Lago club. Um, the animal that shot the two National Guardsmen were both being critically wounded, and now in two separate hospitals, is also severely wounded, but regardless, will pay a very steep price. Trump wrote on his social media platform on Wednesday afternoon. God bless our great National Guard and all our military and law enforcement. These are truly great people. I, as the President of the United States and everyone associated with the office of the presidency, am with you. Okay. Let's see. I'm waiting to hear the spin, getting so exhausted from the news spin in both directions that I don't know what to think these days. Surprised the speculation junkies haven't started posting yet. You know, there's always going to be a spin on this stuff. I'll tell you what, Navy cop, man, this is a big reason why I try to stay away from the news sometimes. Um, I'm sure you all remember. I mean, if you're part of the live stream, like I took about 2 weeks off just a few weeks ago. I left the country for a little bit. I had to get away from everything. On top of that, it was my anniversary, so it was fun to spend time with my wife. 19th anniversary. Um, but we decided to go outside of the country, go explore some places. And during that time, I was completely off the news. I was off the news. There was like once or twice when I went on there just to working on some stuff for some videos for the YouTube channel. But I was off the news, and it felt like such a cleanse, like a mental cleanse, like, oh, not having to keep up with all the garbage that's going on. Um, it was, I don't know how some folks do it. I don't know how some folks are just like that. That's their life. The news. That's such a mental drain. I can't do that. I couldn't do it. Yeah, the one I was looking at here was, pull it up here. Where you at? Where you at? Yeah, this is one. This is one that I just read not too long ago. And this one is the Stolen Valor piece. Clay County man. This is, where's Clay County? In Minnesota? Yep, Minnesota. Clay County man accused of stolen valor, found guilty of fraudulently obtaining $140,000 in benefits, DOJ says. Federal jury has convicted a 39-year-old Minnesota man of fraudulently posing as a decorated U.S. Marine in an effort to obtain more than $140,000 in benefits. The U.S. Department of Justice said in a news release on Friday that the jury found Michael Robin Wicker of Clay County guilty of one count each of wire fraud, mail fraud, using a false military discharge certificate, and fraudulent use of medical or military medals. Court records show that Wicker, from 2015 through 2020, fraudulently obtained benefits from the United States Department of Veterans Affairs by claiming he was a decorated veteran of the U.S. Marine Corps. He also claimed he had suffered from combat-related injuries, had been a prisoner of war during a deployment in Iraq in 2005, and was given the Purple Heart Medal. He supported the fraud scheme using forged documents, including a counterfeit military discharge certificate and fake medal certificates, according to the documents. The Department of Veterans Affairs provided him more than $140,000 in health care, disability, and education benefits as a result of the scheme, federal prosecutors said. Holy crap. That's yeah. That doesn't help the whole fraud thing, right, with the VA. That doesn't help with that at all, as we've all seen. And I know I've made videos myself on this channel. Let me put this thing up here. I made videos about this exact thing on my channel as well, of folks, veterans posting stuff online where they're claiming they got their 100% VA disability and they're dancing around. Mostly you can find this stuff on social media, TikTok and stuff like that. Just it gives the whole thing a black eye. Like it adds fuel to the fire for the government to say, hey, look, let's further investigate fraud and change up the whole VA disability, to have veterans jump through more hoops to gain a VA disability rating, as if it wasn't tough enough. Just have your medical records tight. Let's see here. Yeah, if you're just joining, here's a link. If you want to jump on the live stream, talk about your time as a military service member, military civilian transition, what you got going on for the holidays. I know there was something that came across my desk it was on social media, saying we can adopt a military family for Thanksgiving. Normally I would, but we're going to be out of the area, so I can't just bring a whole family with me to a family dinner that I was invited to, right? Live stream. Oh yeah, here we go. Jump on the live stream. Jump on if you dare. And you don't have to have a camera on if you don't want to or anything like that. It's just fun to talk to other veterans and see what they got going on. So, test, test. Is this working? Okay. Just got to notice that my thing was off. I'll tell you, man, technical difficulties. Remember just a few days ago for the folks that were on the live stream, my mic went completely offline and I don't know what happened that caused me to stop the live stream. I was in the middle of a conversation with another veteran who was telling me about his time and that sucked. So I think his name was Douglas. Douglas, if you're out there listening, hey brother, feel free to jump on again. We'll finish off our conversation. Veteran Broken. Right now, I'm going to cybersecurity school, do VRNE program. Excellent, man. The VRNE program is awesome. Is awesome. If you can get your counselor to ever answer your emails, which is what I'm going through right now. The VRD program is great. I always tell folks use the VRD program before using your post 9/11 GI Bill benefits because they are different pots of money. You use your VRD program here, you use your post 9/11 GI Bill after, and there you got potentially 8 years of school between the both of them, as long as you do apply for the Rudisill Act on va.gov, which gives you that extra 12 months of post 9/11 GI Bill benefits on top of your already 36 months. So if you serve between the times where you rated the Montgomery GI Bill and then you switched over to the post 9/11 GI Bill, you could potentially rate that Rudisill Act decision. And damn it, as I was talking, I bit my damn tongue. Let's see here. Right. I got him, and the school sent him all the info. That starts December 9th. Excellent, man. December 9th. Awesome. That's right around the corner. Cyber Warrior Program. Is that what is the Cyber Warrior Program? Is that like a degree, or is that like some organization has that program? Tell me more about it. Veteran Broken, 19 weeks, and they get me a job too. Holy crap, man. That's awesome. I like that. Yeah, so Navy Cop mentions Veteran Broken, what program? I use VRNE to go to Western Governors University to finish my BS in IT, worked in analysis and program support for 9 years contracting. Yeah, you guys link up and Veteran Broken, please let me know. So Cyber Warrior Program, is that just what it's called? I'm going to Google it right now. Let me open up Gunny Google here really quick. See what he's got to say. Gunny Google knows all. Cyber Warrior Program. See, you learn something new every day. So is it cyberwarrior.com? Do you have a website for that programs, Veteran Broken? And of course, you got things in the Google search, and it says people also ask, is 40 too old to get into cybersecurity? Oh, it's not about the age, it's about the willingness to want to learn and do it. Yeah, but Veteran Broken, if you got the link to that place, man, let me know. Let me know. It says, laugh my ass off. I'm 53. Hey, man, I'm gonna catch up to you one day. I'm almost there. I'll catch up to you. But yeah, 40 or even 53 is not too old to jump into cybersecurity, as we're learning from Veteran Broken here. See, so I'm seeing the Cyber Warrior program in different places. My Computer Career, Cybercraft, Cyber Warrior, uh, University of Maryland. So yeah, I don't know exactly where you get in with that. Um, Navy cop, only if you are in Congress. Those old bastards don't understand anything about tech yet produce legislation about it. Almost shocking to watch. Yeah, what was that? Was it the Department of Education lady, the McMahon lady? I can't recall her first name, but is it Linda? I can't recall. She was calling AI. She was calling it A1. All right, My Computer Career is the one I used. Okay, My Computer Career. Oh, okay. Very cool. Check it out. My Computer Career. Become a certified IT cybersecurity professional with our exclusive Cyber Warrior program. And VRNE will cover that, huh? That's pretty good. In as little as 12 weeks, perfect for veterans and other aspiring public defenders. Awesome. So what career, like I understand cybersecurity, but what are you hoping to get to jump in with Veteran Broken? Do you, I know they help you find a job, but like, what are you hoping to, who are you hoping to work with? What would you like to be doing? And there's a lot of programs like this out there that help you, get your certification in something and actually help you find a job. I'm glad VRNE is helping you out with that. So along with that, with the VRNE, you would still have your post 9/11 GI Bill available to you as well. And if you do, like, do you have any plans on using that for anything? It says, I definitely ain't going back to work with the government. I'm going to do it in the private sector. The average down here in Georgia on the low end is 115 a year. Very nice. Very nice. And then Georgia's lower cost of living too. So you're going to be living the life, man. Get yourself a McMansion. Get yourself a nice Dodge Charger with 29% interest. Man, you're set, dude. Living that veteran life. Oh man, let me share this one again here. There we go. I'm sharing that link here. Jump on the live stream. Anybody out there who wants to talk on the live stream, share your story, your military civilian transition, talk about how life is going for you after military service. Maybe you got into some awesome career that nobody knows about. Maybe you're having struggles. Maybe you've had successes and failures. Maybe you just need somebody to talk to. Hey, jump on the live stream. Let's do this. Let's see. Veteran Broken says, I know, right? I was like, I'm going to pay off my house and pay off my truck and be debt free completely. Dude, debt free is the way to be. Debt free is the way to be, man. I love that. So I'm of the same mindset. I got out of debt maybe 7 years ago, and the only debt I have right now is my house payment. Really, that's it, and the mortgage. But that was one of my non-negotiables. Is I will not leave the military with any debt to my name. So, and sure enough, at my like 15-year mark in the military, I completely eliminated all debt. And you know, it's a weight lifted off your shoulders when you know that you don't owe anybody else money. You're good. You're good. Uh, it says right here, yes, sir. No house payment, no car payment, and I'm 100%. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I would say that you are good. Now all you gotta do is save, invest, maybe do a little bit of traveling. I mean, you're in Georgia, so you got some cool mountains out there too, right? To what, the east or the west side? Got me a 5-year plan going, man. What? Share a little bit of that 5-year plan. I'm curious now, man. You've piqued my curiosity. Navy cop, MA1, 2 divorces and child support. Didn't retire in that same happy debt-free life. So it goes. Yeah, I have a friend who um, is also divorced and has child support. He's also retired, um, but like 90% of his retired income goes to child support. That's rough, man. Ben Broken says, yes, yeah, it's going to be nice. I'm just hunkering down for the next 5 years and being done with it. I applaud you, dude. I applaud you. Don't deviate from that milestone, from that goal. 'Cause that will take you places. Awesome. Hunker down, be done with all the debt, get rid of all that trash. I hate owing people money, and that's why I got out of debt, paid off the cars, paid off everything else I had, and the only other thing I have is this house now that I live in, and that's it. That's it. Veteran Broken says, "Yeah, I got about 86,000 and back child support to pay, so I'm glad I'm getting a job." Very nice. Yeah, knock all that trash out, man. Get it done. Get it done. I applaud you, dude. Stay the course. Very good. So yeah, today it's all about connections with fellow veterans. And like I mentioned when I started the live stream, I right before I started the live stream, I sat down with another gentleman who sent me a message on LinkedIn saying, hey, we have a lot of the same networks. Um, we have he's seen me at different events that we've been to, like VFW events or stuff like that. Um, and he just said, "Hey, look, we want to meet up for a coffee sometime." And this gentleman's a retired Navy person, and it was just cool to sit down and see, a different perspective of, being out of the military and what this person has done. And same as me, this person, it feels like this person has lived many lives, like trying your hand out at many different things once you leave the service, and figuring out what works, what doesn't, because a lot of us, maybe when you leave the service, that next job that you find is not the job that you're going to stay in forever. So you start bouncing around and seeing what fits and what works for you. And I've done just that myself. I've jumped around to many, many positions. After leaving the service, I went to work with surface warfare in the Navy. And then after that, I became a federal employee. And now I'm doing consulting and coaching, mentoring, and this, what you see here, this YouTube stuff, which I freaking love. So this is awesome. Let's see. Going to the comments here. Not turning back 84. Child support can be expensive in Cali. Only one can for me, one and done. Yes, it can be expensive. And surprisingly enough, my buddy who is divorced and has to pay the child payments is here in California as well. So it can be expensive. Yes. Lady Soja, welcome back. What's goody to the hoodie, fam? Sorry I'm late. No, all good. All good. I just started the live stream probably around 1:20 or so, 1:30 Pacific Standard Time. I had a lot of appointments this morning. And as I mentioned, I think David Kopp was talking about it too. You cannot miss those appointments, especially when they're like VA appointments, because then if you miss it or if you have to reschedule, it's like months down the road. So I'm like, hey, let me just take this thing. It's right at like 9:30 when the live stream would have happened. So got to make life happen too, So my apologies to all for starting late, but better late than never. And we're here now, right? And I'm sure a lot of folks are getting off work and all that stuff, so maybe they can jump right in. So I put the link in the comments if anybody wants to jump on the live stream and share what they got going on, military civilian transition, maybe what you got going on for the holidays. I know the holidays is tough for a lot of folks, right? I just made a video about it yesterday, just putting out there 10 places where many veterans can go out and seek assistance, financial assistance, if they're having a tough time. Uh, in when I was active duty, I know they would always talk about this. Hey, the holidays are coming. Make sure that your folks are safe. Make sure they got someplace to go, and be for Thanksgiving, for the holidays. Make sure they're connecting with their family, etc. Because you want to make sure people are mentally well around the holidays, because it could be a tough time. Maybe they have nowhere to go. You don't want to have these folks alone in the barracks on a Thanksgiving or during Christmas, because that does affect your mental health as well. Let me see here. Going to the comments here. Navy cop, I have an appointment with a new primary care doc in the third primary care in 4 years. The providers are dropping like flies these days. Yeah, I've heard that same thing. They're constantly switching them out. I wonder why. Have they given you any indication why they're constantly changing, or people are just quitting, or what's going on? Let's see, not turning back. Remember when you was talking about getting your VRNE appointment with your counselor? Well, my counselor canceled 20 minutes before our meeting last Monday. Now I'm back in limbo. Dude, that sucks, man. I'm sorry to hear that. I can't even get a hold of my counselor, and I'm supposed to start classes in January. I was supposed to start in July, and it just kept getting pushed back. And I'm sure these folks are like just drowning in folks that are trying to get a hold of them too, and they're just doing one by one. But yeah, that sucks that they canceled 20 minutes before your meeting last Monday. Do you have another meeting set up already? Navy cop, mine canceled me from the program after providing no services. So trying to get in contact with one of the others to get back, if not into it, if possible. Yeah. And that, VRNE is a great service, a great program. If you can get in on it. It also gives you like the monthly housing allowance if you do full time, like your butt is in the seat, or maybe at school, or maybe if you're doing a hybrid. It also gives you that monthly housing allowance. I'm curious, who was it who was doing the my computer career. I'm curious if my computer career gives you hybrid or online monthly housing allowance. Oh, on the bringing up to the stage, Lady Soldier. Lady Soldier, how you doing?
I'm doing good, and yourself?
Trying to make things happen. I'm doing well. Had a very busy day.
Same.
Yeah. Good. So
I was just calling in to say how I cope with being separated. I had 4 kids; they're all grown, so I'm experiencing it from a different perspective now.
Yep.
I've seen it, all the ways. The kid wishing dad was home, from being the one that they wish was home, to now saying, "Dang, where'd they all go?" So it's a unique point of view to the same kind of pain. You know what I mean?
It is, yeah.
So my new thing is, working out the kinks. Usually when I try to formulate a plan for my future, I usually plan it from the bottom, like from my perspective, like nothing and everything's going to be a grind perspective. And what I recently realized is that I should look at it from, I'm already successful and I'm trying to instruct somebody from the bottom how to come up perspective.
Right. Okay. So that is a unique perspective.
Instead of, getting down on myself, for my ideas, like, man, how in the world, I don't know how to do this, that, and the third. You
Hmm.
know, it's learning to ask a question without being afraid of what the answer might be.
Yeah, yeah. That retracts a lot of folks from asking that question. I found I used to be the same way.
Hmm. And today it's, more people are a little more loose lipped than they used to be. I mean, gatekeeping is still a thing. Don't get me
Hmm.
wrong. There's paywalls
Right.
everywhere, but sometimes you can run up on somebody that understands that there's enough for everybody. So
As
just
far as what, like VA claims or VA disability, or what do you
just
mean?
in general, in general, like if you have a knowledge set on how somebody can help grow their business, if
Hmm.
know how to you know get a certain music idea or creative idea through, if like you're doing live streaming, if you know how to set up the riverside and stuff like that, you
Yeah.
know there's people like you and me that willing to tell what we know and not
Yeah. Yeah.
gatekeep, so
Exactly.
that people can get in on what we're trying to do. It's because there's enough for everybody.
There is. I agree. I think it's a matter of, having learned so much about it, it just feels wrong to keep all the information to myself. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, the world needs to know, other veterans need to know about this stuff, about maybe adding on the extra 12 months onto their VR, onto their post 9/11, or all these other resources that are available. Things like this, my computer career that was just shared in the comments. I never knew about that. But now that I
Mm-hmm.
was just educated on it, I can pass that information forward to the next folks. So yeah, very, very much so. I feel like that.
And I'm grateful for it. I'm pretty sure others are too, especially the ones that are here in the chat right now. It's amazing when we're able to find genuine people who just want to share the knowledge versus, creating another gate to pay for, entry into.
Right, right. Yeah, the live streams are free. I I have not ever researched on how to gain money off of live streams. I don't know if you can, but it's, yeah. Again, it's a great way to connect with folks, to get the information out there. I'm glad that this is like an option here. Um, what, like I mentioned earlier today, on the live stream, I sat down with that gentleman who just reached out to me and saying, "Hey, look, I don't know you, but let's sit down for some coffee. We have the same people in our networks." And I just learned a wealth of information, things I never realized, or things I never knew before. And he gave me his card and he's like, "Dude, I work with this brain thing and we're focusing on veterans right now." He's working with a group of Navy SEALs that are experiencing PTSD and stuff like that from things that they're doing. I'm like, "Dude, I never knew this existed." And he's like, "Yeah, come by the office, man. I'll show you around." It was a breath of fresh air that I didn't. You don't have to pay for something like that. It's like out of the goodness of somebody's heart to come and like, "Hey, come check out what I'm doing." It does
Hmm.
feel good. It feels good.
And it's probably something that wouldn't have happened if you wasn't already open to the idea of sharing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Of course. But yeah, I mean, I also go on things that have paywalls too, and I'm like, "Oh man, I thought this was like legit free for our veterans, and they're asking me for payments here and there." So
Hmm.
those I kind of, shy away from. I mean, if I really want it, I'll pay for it, but I'd rather just connect with folks and get the information.
Yeah, and I also appreciate it when people let us know ahead of time that paywalls do exist in
Yeah,
certain directions, because it is really frustrating when you think you finally have a ray of hope and it's
right.
$100 for the first hour, a thousand
Yep.
dollars for it's annoying
Yeah, it is. It's almost like a bait and switch thing.
every doggone time.
Just give me a second. I'm trying to mess with my lighting here.
Oh, no worries. I didn't even bother with my lights today.
Let's see. Oh, there we go. Something's happening. Hopefully that works out a little bit better. But yeah, it's great to connect with folks and like other veterans and stuff. And um, I would have never connected with this gentleman if he had not sent me that message. So it was ultimately awesome to do that. And I don't really. He asked me like, "So what are you doing these days?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do this live stream on the YouTube channel." And he's like, "Oh, tell me about that." I'm like, "Well, good group of folks that show up every week, and we just talk about whatever's on our mind, and a lot of times it's just kind of going off of what I'm writing in my journal, what I'm reading currently, and we just have good conversations on there and connections. Some folks jump on the live stream, some folks don't, and that's completely fine. So it's just fun. It's just fun to have this stuff.
Yeah, and for me, it took me a while to find what I wanted to do online because, I see so many people doing the exact same thing. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. So,
Right.
what can I do that's, different, but still me and authentic? And it took me a long time to distill it. So, I did that. But in order to do that, it takes a lot of soul searching. You know what I mean?
I do. And what is it that you do online?
Well, what's about to go down is I'm creating a storyline, but instead of animating it or acting it out, we're using GTA RP. And, so we're using video game characters to act out the
Yep.
scenes.
GTA RP. I've not heard of that before. Like GTA roleplay, RP roleplay. Okay.
We're
And so what
using
do you do with that, if you don't mind me asking?
well, there's a server and we're all role players and we're agreeing to a set storyline objective, but not necessarily a specific script. So there's plenty of play. It's all ad lib, except it has, a beginning, a middle, and an end because each character has their own storyline that people can keep up with through watching the different streamers' streams. So it's a whole setup.
So how do you know how to set that up? Like, do you have training in that, or how did this come about?
Well, I started playing GTA RP about 2 years ago around this time. The interest came from watching people do skits on YouTube. At the time, what's his name? Petty Gang YT is what I was watching that inspired me to get into GTA 5 RP. And I finally found a city, jumped in, and I've been with the same city the entire time, with the same owners. And, over time developed a relationship where I'm like, hey, since it's been just the core of us in every, new city, just the same 3, 4, 5 people, why don't we develop specific storylines for our characters? And then when new people come in, they can join the story or not, up to them and go from there.
And then I'm envisioning something like The Sims, maybe, or some kind of like maybe a Minecraft or something, like there's interaction between players in this simulation. Am I going the right route, or is this something completely different?
Similar, but you have a lot more control over your character. You literally make them walk where you want them to walk to. Oh, someone's at the door. One moment, please.
No worries. So yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. Is when I connect with veterans, and I have zero knowledge of GTA RP, but as Lady Soldier jumped on here and she's educated me on this, I'm learning things that I've never even knew existed. I am familiar with like The Sims and stuff like that, or Minecraft and Fortnite, stuff like that. But I didn't know about GTA RP. I'm going to definitely research that. Um, but even earlier today, like there was conversations of brain neuroscience for veterans that know what this gentleman was doing even existed, with like the magnets on the head to alleviate depression and anxiety. That is completely new to me, but you learn things. And now, these things interest me. I'm a researcher. I love going and I constantly write things down, things that interest me, notes and quotes and things like that. So I'm going to do some deep dives on all these things. Let's see, going to the comments here real quick while we wait for Lady Soldier. Not turning back. He says, I'm supposed to start LSU in January 2026, but I'm just waiting for them to approve for the monthly housing allowance. I'm going to have to wait until after Thanksgiving break. My counselor might be sick. Hey, hopefully he's not sick for too long, man, so you can get your stuff started. Tell him you need to see his light duty chit. Make sure he's telling the truth. With the economy, everything is starting to fall behind paywalls. It's pretty frustrating for sure. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So we'll get Lady Soldier back on the line here. I'll put her in the background for now. Yes, a lot of things are going through paywalls, unfortunately. And there's many times where I've seen something that would be beneficial to veterans or any group of people, right? And then all of a sudden it says, hey, pay for this, pay for that, $100, like Lady Soldier was saying. So that's unfortunate, but this live stream is free. So I'm thankful to be able to provide you this for free. It's fun for me. It's great to connect with folks, veterans alike, and it's fun. Let me see here. All right, Lady Soldier, we'll get you back on here later on once you sort all that out. And let me put the link up here for anybody else who is. So I'm using another service right now, so it should be a little bit easier to jump on the live stream from here. I think the other service I was using, you had to like download something, but if you feel so compelled, jump on the live stream. Let's see, we got Gunnery Sergeant on the line here. I appreciate you making time. Yeah, always great, man. Always a good time. I love doing this stuff, connecting with folks, learning about you all, and just talking, see what you guys got going on. I was following something online on the news about stolen valor over in Minnesota, and dude was saying that he was a Purple Heart recipient, Marine who was attached to some unit, I can't recall, but he basically swindled the VA out of $140,000 in benefits and healthcare and payments, including education. And it kind of made me think too, because I was just, as I mentioned earlier on the live stream, I was just at an event. It was like a kids event for one of my kids, and I was essentially challenged on my military service because I had told this person that when asked what rank I was, I told this person I was a chief warrant officer, and when I retired, and this person told me to my face, I've never heard of that. Are you sure? I'm like, am I sure? Am I sure? Like, what do you mean? Am I sure? They're like, I know there's like E6s and I know there's like O1s. I've never heard of a chief warrant officer. I'm like, well, we exist. We exist. I felt compelled, and I showed this person the picture. I'm like, this is me in uniform in my dress blues. Here, look, ranks, red, silver, red. But just they weren't tracking. They looked at me and said, "Hey, I'm going to have to do some research on that." I'm like, "Well, please do so." But it it made me feel a certain way. Like, who the hell do you think you are? Like, why would you even challenge me on that? Um, yeah. Let me see. Gunnery Sergeant. So, what do you do to not make it awkward? You know what I started doing? I started doing uh, the downward facing dog movement. Like the daily 16. I just started doing that in front of them. Like, this is what we do: downward facing dog. Um, no, no, or just started doing jumping jacks out of nowhere. No, no, It was kind of awkward, right? Because it was like a group of other parents, just kind of in a circle talking. Um, and I just mentioned, like, I can assure you it exists, and I did serve, and then when I asked the person, like, did you do anything military wise? This person had mentioned that they were going to join, of course, and they were slated for OCS, Officer Candidate School. And when I asked, "Oh, that's awesome. That's not easy. What branch were you going to OCS for?" They said, "Oh, I was slated for all the branches. I just had to pick which one." And I thought, that's not how it works. You got to go to a branch. You sign up. You through your OSO, your officer selection officer, or whatever they call it, and then you start OCS at that branch. Nothing that this person was telling me was adding up, so I didn't want to waste my time with them. I'm like, "Hey, you do your research, man. Get back to me when you find out what you find out." So strange, but it is what it is. But yeah, that was my first experience with somebody trying to challenge me on my military service. My first experience. I've never had anybody ask me or challenge me on that before. I'm like, "Do you want to see my USMC tattoo?" Uh, so I don't. It's not like I walk around with my DD-214 in my back pocket. I probably should start walking around with that DD-214, right? I pull it out of my pocket. Here's what I've done. But I mean, the conversation doesn't normally come up. It just came up because my kid was wearing my old. It was like a Nerf gun party thing, and my kid was wearing like my old LBV, like the harness to carry like magazines and stuff that I haven't. I had one in a tote in my garage, so he decided to wear that to the party, and then the conversation came up. "Oh, your kid's all decked out in military gear. Where'd you get that from?" I'm like, "Oh, it's just old gear that I had, or gear adrift, that I found." Um, so we decided to wear it. Like, "Oh, did you serve?" I'm like, "I did, yeah, 2 decades, yes." Let me see here. Going to the comments. I was looking to roll over to the warrant program in the Navy security technician, but they were revamping the program, so it would have been a long shot at the time. Ended up retiring at that point. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Lady Soja, I had someone question my cadence lyrics. I was like, I couldn't understand half the words then. hey, hey, I got the same thing. Nobody says, and I don't know about other services. The Marine Corps does not say left; they say Leo. Left, right, Leo. So it's yeah, I understand that. But yeah, that was my first and only thus far interaction with somebody attempting to challenge my military service, which it was a little awkward. Was it? It became a little tense at points because I didn't like it, um, and I made it known that I didn't appreciate it. But and then when this person said that they were accepted to all OCSs, I was like, at that point, I'm like, yeah, I'm done listening. Like everything you're saying, it doesn't register in my head anymore because you've lost all credibility with anything you've mentioned thus far. So curious out there, has anybody ever challenged you on your service? Um, Awkward, yes, awkward. As gunnery sergeant on here said, it was an awkward situation, but it also made me proud that I had served. Not that I'm better than anybody else, but it made me proud that I had served and put on the uniform for 2 decades and done what I had done. So, let me see. Navy cop. We had a guy down in boot camp that used Queen lyrics for different cadence. Dude was a rock star. That sounds awesome. Hey, Navy cop, man, you got to jump on here and just let me know how that went. I'd like to hear a little bit of those lyrics if you remember that, like how he sang it though while he was he was marching. Let's hear that cadence. Did you know that MCRD, Marine Corps Recruit Depot San Diego, has a cadence contest, a cadence calling contest? A lot of former drill instructors are in that contest, and they come out and they call cadence, and it's like they do all the vocals. Just YouTube it or Google it, like MCRD San Diego cadence calling contest. It sounds hilarious, but and some of it is, but you got to check it out. Let's see, not turning back 84. I still look jacked, so people think I'm still active duty. I've been out 13 years. Right on, man. Keeping that PT going. That's awesome. I mean, your thumbnails, you freaking sitting on a bench with like 405 stacked on the bar. So if you keep lifting, yeah. Lady Soja. Let's say for me, serving was a chance to follow into my father's footsteps and family legacy. It was the proudest moments in my life as well as some of the worst. I agree. I agree. Navy cop, dude, I'm 57 with sleep apnea and insomnia. Pretty sure I ate breakfast this morning, but I can't remember what. You're talking 36 years ago. Oh man, yeah. Sometimes I can't remember what I had for dinner last night either. That's why I carry my green logbook. Well, not the original green logbook from military service, but I got this one custom made. So, and I do carry a small green logbook. This one is actually, if anybody's interested, this one is from Jarhead Leather, an active duty gunnery sergeant in the Marine Corps makes these. He was making them by hand. Now he has a machine, but he makes them all out of his workshop at his house. Very cool piece of gear. I'm going to get with him, potentially have some for sale on here as well for anybody else who wants some. I got a couple made for gifts and stuff. So very cool stuff. Yeah, gunnery sergeant, definitely check it out, man. If you're talking about the cadence calling contest, it's a trip. It is a trip. People just, they're not marching. They're just like, they do like this event and they have a bunch of tents and they basically just stand there and go, they just start calling cadence, just walking around. And these guys are like older dudes in like jeans and a t-shirt with their old Marine Corps retired hat or whatever, and start calling cadence. It's freaking good. It's pretty damn good. Motivating. You might end up going out for like a 3-mile run, knock out a set of 20 pull-ups, and then do a set of 100 crunches after you watch that. I don't know, but I have a feeling like you might. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good folks in the comments, man. I do appreciate all the comments out there. This is awesome. Great to connect with folks. I usually do these live streams at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I had a bunch of appointments this morning and couldn't make it in time, but kicked it off at probably about 1:30 or so Pacific Standard Time. If anybody wants to jump on the live stream, Here is the link. Share what you got going on. Let me see if I can pull it up there. Gunnery Sergeant, this trash is hilarious. What's it called? MCRD. Yes. Oh man, yeah, here we go. Let me just play a little bit of it. Just for the shits and giggles.
Attack! Halt! Forward! Who told you to move?
Right, left, high, left, forward, hat, right, no matter left, head along, right, no, yeah, I know, right, I know, right,
Oh. Let me stop that before I start calling the recruiter to join again. Yeah, it's freaking it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Mute this stuff here. All right. Had to mute it because I hear my own voice while I'm talking, so it's kind of throws me off a little bit. But yeah, um, it's Gunnery Sergeant. It is freaking hilarious, man. Check it out. Check it out. If you ever get I don't know if they still do it. I feel like they do, but it's like a whole event at MCRD. All these tents and stuff. You got all these like drill instructors and stuff grading these folks on there on how well they do. And if you ever get a chance to stop by there, please do so. It is pretty damn good. Sounds like childhood with a Marine twist. Is that what childhood sounds like? I don't know. I can only sing cadence for the Marines hymn. Well, Gunnery Sergeant, it would be an honor if you would jump on the live stream and grace us with that Marines hymn cadence. Excuse me. So today was all about connecting and networking with other veterans, other folks out there. Big thing was this morning. One of my appointments that I had was, or one of the things I had scheduled was hanging out with and sharing some coffee with a Navy veteran, Navy retiree. This gentleman was a Chief Warrant Officer 5, and we shared some of the same folks in our networks, like on LinkedIn and stuff. And he invited me out to have some coffee and just talk. And I learned so much. I would have never known some of the things that I learned from just this 1 hour long conversation about, this nonprofit that this gentleman has started, about how he's helping veterans through his nonprofit. Right now, their focus, or they're working a lot with Navy SEALs who have PTSD, who have depression, anxiety, things like that, and doing brain scans on these folks. And I learned so much. Big reason why it's great to connect with folks, especially in the veteran community, because a lot of folks out there who leave the service still have that service in their heart, and they want to continue giving. So it is great to continue giving back to the community. Gunnery Sergeant, I see you have become a new member of the Green Logbook. Truly appreciate it, and I look forward to putting out great information out there for you and all the other members. Just know that one of the perks of the membership is I give you all first access to a lot of the videos that I put out there. And please, if you have any ideas or comments or maybe ideas for new videos or new topics for me to put out there, I love researching. I love legislation, reading about legislation. I thought I left that when I left the Marine Corps. And I did a lot of military justice and I did a lot of investigations when I was in the Marine Corps. So I thought I left that world, but something about it keeps calling me back. So I'm constantly trying to get a hold of, these senators to see what the status is on different things going on in the veteran community, at least where I live, right? I'm over in California. So yeah, truly appreciate it, man. That's one of the perks, and welcome to the Green Logbook. See, I don't have any other Marines in my immediate family. One of my cousins is a senior drill instructor right now, and well, I won't share where, but he's a senior drill instructor right now. I have another family member who is a young Lance Corporal who's trying to find his way, and I have another family member who's a Navy chief. So before that, it was just somebody in the Army. One of my uncles in the Army, and then from there it was just kind of spread out, and folks started joining. I started getting like questions about, hey, what's the Marines like, or what's the what's the Navy like? I'm like, well, I couldn't tell you what the Navy's like, but the Marine Corps is freaking awesome. You can do some cool stuff in there if you choose the right MOS. Let's see here. What do we got going here? Yeah, for everybody out there who's listening, thank you for coming on the live stream. We're talking about connections in the veteran community, and especially now more than ever, especially as we're heading towards the holidays, the holiday season. We want to leave no one behind, right? So it's very important these days to connect, to check on one another, to do our regular buddy checks every so often, and see how everybody's doing. That's it. And that's a big reason why I started this live stream kind of thing, right? My channel was initially my military civilian transition and sharing information that I'm learning about the retirement process and all that stuff, going from the Marine Corps to becoming a civilian. Then it turned into something else a little bit more. It kind of branched out into this whole live stream thing where I want to connect with fellow veterans. I want to hear your stories and hear about your failures and successes and see how we can build each other up in after military service. So very much appreciated all the folks who are out there listening. And, if you haven't already done so, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It really helps to put this channel in front of other folks who maybe don't realize that this exists yet, but it could definitely help them out. Please understand that I'm not a medical doctor, or I'm not your attorney, I'm not your doctor or anything like that. I can't give you any kind of advice like that. It's just a place to come in and converse. Lady Soldier, normally I would be depressed with the empty nest, but now that I have passion projects, I'm focused on possibilities instead of what I don't have. That's excellent. Excellent. Yeah. Keep your mind busy. Every so often, as I like to say, every so often, get out of these four walls, because I found that sitting here, not specifically here, this is like my sanctuary, my office, right? Got my reading chair back there behind me, if you can see that. Just got a new banker's lamp. Found that yesterday at a thrift shop. That's awesome. Been looking for one of those for a while. But I found that if you do not leave the confines of these four walls, then nothing really good happens. You got to get out and get some fresh air, go out and meditate, go out and maybe be around people or go be in some sunshine, go outside. That really helps. Thank you, Lady Soldier. Thank you. I have been searching for a banker's lamp. And I have a thing, like, I don't want to pay full price for it. It was like $50 or something online. And I went to the thrift shop yesterday and I found one for $8 and it was working perfect and picked it up. And, I use that to read. I use my chair to read. And right now I'm reading this guy right here, Man's Search for Meaning. I read it many years ago. I don't know what I did with the other book, but I had to purchase another one. And this is it. I'm about to hit chapter 2. Very, very good piece of gear. Good reading right here. So definitely recommend it so far if you haven't already checked it out. Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. Lady Soldier says, I have a gardening channel as well. Love nature and taking nature photos as a hobby. Birds and astronomy got me out of the funk when I first left the service. That's good. That's good. If you ever want to share your channel, feel free to do so. Not calling you out or anything, just if you want to. Yeah, we got to find something that kind of fills our time outside of just kind of being in our own thoughts all the time. I like being with myself a lot of times because I like to think, I like to write, I like to read, but I know that if I am there too long, then I start going a little crazy. Not turning back. Says, oh, Navy cop. That's a great family legacy you have in the military. That's awesome. Yeah, I was reading about that. Where's where you at? I just saw it up here, Navy cop. Oh yeah, here we go. Family on my mom's line has veterans dating back to the Revolutionary War. Both of my parents were Air Force. I went to Navy because someone has to bring pride back to the family. There you go. That's funny. My mom's family is well documented and has serious legacy and service. Well, sir, you just added to that legacy. That's awesome. So I think the next time I'll be doing the live stream is going to be next Monday. And at that point, it'll be 9:30 in the morning, PST, Pacific Standard Time. And I will come equipped with some coffee. Let's see here. Lady Soja. Aqua Bougie Urban Farm is the channel. I haven't updated it because I was homeless for a while, but in the spring, there will be new content. Aqua Bougie Organic Urban Farm 1860. I'm going to check that out. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm glad that you got a place now. That's good. That's awesome. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Got to support it. Yeah. So yeah, any chance I can get to support veteran organizations or support just veteran businesses, I will do that. Like I mentioned, I've been purchasing a couple of these from Jarhead Leather good pieces of gear. I do a lot of writing myself, so good pieces of gear on here. I'm gonna get some maybe stamped with the green logbook and then put them on a shop or something. I don't know if anybody would be interested in that. But yeah, I love this stuff, man. Somebody asked me about it today. I went to the bank today and they're like, "What is that?" I'm like, "This is my." They're like, "Is this your wallet?" I'm like, "No, this is my a little where I keep my little green logbook." They're like, "Oh, that's so cool." I'm like, "Well, yeah, an active duty gunner sergeant made it. Thank you." Navy Cop already subscribed. Yes, sir. You have already subscribed. Thank you for your subscription. Awesome. Subscribe some more. I can't subscribe anymore. No, I much appreciate that, man. I have to confirm, but I think the live stream that I do with the Military Retirement Podcast on Sundays, we might be pausing that. So only because I think like my co-host wants to share time with his family and all that. So, and that's completely understandable. So that may come to a pause temporarily for December, but I do plan on keeping this channel going and this live stream going. I love this stuff, connecting with veterans out there from all services, all branches, all walks of life. And I'm curious, like, comment below, like, where are you tuning in from? Where are you located? I know somebody's in Georgia, Washington State. Like, where around the country or around the world are you tuning in from? And what branch of service did you serve in? Curious. Comment in the comments. Marty Jackson 257. Hey, thanks for stopping by. No, you are not late. I was late today. I was supposed to start at 9:30 as I normally do a.m. and then life took over. I had appointments and yeah, had to push it back to about 1:30. So I've been streaming for close to 2 hours now, close to it. But it's been fun conversations thus far. All right, let me look at this name. Te Latete Salsa Verde. Oh, that's good. Greetings, Michigan. Awesome. Michigan in the house. All right. And then Marnie Jackson was from North Carolina. Yeah, I can't think of North Carolina without throwing my shirt in the air. I was stationed out in North Carolina. I loved it. I loved it. I loved the outdoors. And yeah, it was great. I had a lot of great memories going out to the Blue Ridge Mountains, going out to Western North Carolina by Hendersonville and Asheville and all that. Yeah, I love North Carolina. Was Air Force Security Service stationed at RAF Chicksands back in the 70s. Well, welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Yes, throwback. Yes, throwback with the t-shirts, right? If that's what you mean. That was what? Who's that? Petey Pablo, wasn't it? Petey Pablo, North Carolina. Yeah. I don't do it justice. I'm no Petey Pablo. She says, I'm near beautiful trails and not far from the mountains. That's great. Well, when I was in North Carolina, I was in Camp Lejeune. It was neither by trails or by mountains. So it was near Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, Western Boulevard. I mean, it was just a bunch of stores down the road. Even going to Walmart was like, you would just see a sea of high and tights. Everybody there was military. So you'd see people getting chewed out in Walmart. That's what I remember. Yes, I like Petey Pablo, Raise Up, the USA version. Yes. Michigan versus Ohio State on Saturday. Oh, you better bring up some rivalries here. I grew up being a Florida Gators fan. I've since not watched much college football. Probably should get back into it, but I grew up being a Florida Gators fan. I grew up part of my life in Florida. What can I say? Gotta stay true. Marty Jackson, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah. The thing about Camp Lejeune, when I was out there, um, I recall getting a class. We all had to meet up at the, it was some, maybe like the base theater. And we got a class from a descendant of uh, General John Lejeune. And it was like his great granddaughter. I don't know what it was. It was an older lady, and it was a class on how to pronounce his name correctly and why. So it is not pronounced Lejeune like I have always been calling it. She mentioned to us it was pronounced Lejeune, and I always thought, where's the R? Where's the R in Lejeune? But I guess if that's how you pronounce it, right? It's like my name. My name is Victor, but the G is silent, right? So, okay, now turning back. 84. From the volunteer state. Love Tennessee. Balls. I currently live in Riverside County, California. How do you like Riverside, man? I know a few folks from there. Yes, Marty Jackson. It is French. Yes. She says, Florida small frogs jumped out of trees on me. What? So the funny thing about Florida is, I don't know if you've ever looked this up, but they have the big lizards, right? The iguanas, and them being cold blooded when it's cold outside. Sometimes it does get cold in Florida, believe it or not. And when it is cold outside, they will fall. They will like freeze, and they will fall from the trees onto like cars and stuff because people will park under the trees. If there happens to be an iguana up there, you just hear boom, and you wonder what it is, and they'll dent your car because they're pretty heavy. But yeah, frozen iguanas. See, Riverside County, it's nice. It's a little cheaper than San Diego, dude. Nothing is cheap out here, man. I live in San Diego. Nothing is cheap out here. Might have to check out Riverside County sometime. Yeah. But yeah, that was a big conversation when I was leaving the military, like where we're going to move, and we ended up putting an offer on a house in Virginia, right outside of Oceana, um, Naval Station Oceana, and it was a nice house, like mid-century style house. And then when they did the inspection for it, there was a bunch of water damage around the outside by the garage and during in the back of the house, and it made me wonder, like, yeah, that's why they didn't post pictures of the freaking house right up online. And so we ended up not purchasing that house and just kind of settling out here in California. But yeah, I'm still exploring. I mean, I don't after leaving the service, I don't know if anybody else gets this feeling, but after leaving the service, did you all ever feel like maybe because we PCS so much, like we move every 3 years or so, and when it was time to settle down after you left the service, did anybody else ever feel like, okay, I've lived here way too long, I need to move on? That's exactly how I felt living here. I've since not stopped feeling like that, right? Because we've settled down, we've kind of planted some roots here. We know our neighbors, my kids like their school, etc. But yeah, does anybody else has anybody else ever felt like that? Like after 3 years living somewhere after you left the military, felt like it was time to leave. Like I'm itching to go somewhere else. Let's see, Navy cop boot camp in Orlando, Florida. I had to do our runs past lake that had a couple 15-foot gators in it. Pretty sure we didn't lose anyone, but it was a little unsettling as they watch you run by. Yeah, man, I spent some time living out in Orlando, Florida during my childhood, and I know exactly what you're talking about. Me and some friends when I was in high school, we went jet skiing in this lake, and when you look back at it, yeah, there's a reason why nobody else was freaking jet skiing on that lake, and somebody rolled by. They're like, "Hey, there's gators in that lake. You all might want to watch out." I'm like, "Oh shit! Well, maybe we should take off out of here." I didn't see any that day, but I'm sure that there were gators in that lake. We were just hanging out there. Let's see, Hellfish Haven, man, welcome to the chat, dude. Massachusetts prices are ridiculous. We will only be up here so much longer. Yeah, what is? I'm seeing a lot of like little, everywhere around the country, right? What's the most veteran-friendly state out there? I think it might be Texas. I don't know, or maybe even Florida. I know for damn sure it's not California. See, Navy cop, best been in Washington State since 1992 and losing my mind. Seriously looking for my next move and probably last at this age. Where do you want to move, Navy cop? I did go. I will say this about the Pacific Northwest. I recently went up to Oregon with my family. So we do this thing where close our eyes, point somewhere on the map, and then we'll end up going to like an area around there, right? And we ended up going to Tillamook, Oregon, where they make the cheese, Tillamook cheese. And I forgot what else, and the ice cream now. And we stayed right next to Tillamook in this place called Oceanside, not to be confused with Oceanside, California, right? Oceanside, Oregon, right next to Tillamook. And one of the most beautiful places I've ever been to in my entire life. And just raw, rugged beauty, like waterfalls and stuff like that. We rented a house on the edge of a cliff overlooking the ocean, and then you have these huge, like rock formations coming out of the water. We went over to like where they filmed the Goonies. People are familiar with the Goonies out there. So beautiful place, and I got in my mind to think like, hey, if it wasn't so damn cold up here, this would be an awesome place to live, to retire, to just hang out. It was beautiful. So yeah, I got to get back there. If anybody from Oregon is out there, shout out. Beautiful state. Let's see. I've heard Texas, there is a list. However, a person needs to double check with those that live out there. Yes. South Carolina is looking promising. Yeah, South Carolina is pretty damn nice. Certain parts of it, right? So I've been out to, so I don't know how they pronounce it. It's Beaufort, South Carolina. I really like that area. Very nice. Not to be confused with Beaufort, North Carolina. Awesome spot. Let's see, Michigan. Michigan is very veteran friendly unless you're from Ohio. I just got my NEX coupons via text. Nice. Texas ranked top for best places for veterans to retire. So I've never been to Texas. Yes, I keep hearing about Texas. Yes, and I've never been to Texas. Never really had a reason for going. Don't know that. I mean, I don't. Is it nice out there? I guess it depends on where you go, right? Because it's so huge. But I'm more of like I like the mountains. I like the ocean nearby. I like the woods. So kind of looking for something like that. Marty Jackson. I've been to the cheese factory. We used to go to Washington State every year to visit family and spend time in Oregon. Yeah, it is surprisingly really nice, that cheese factory. You can see like how they process everything and how they make the cheese and all that stuff. Really nice. And they serve food inside. It's like the whole food court downstairs. You can go upstairs and like take a tour of everything. They give you free cheese if you want some. Very cool. Yeah, anybody who's never been to Tillamook, man, I always tell them you got to go. It's freaking amazing, and they have an awesome little like a veteran community out there. I had put on Facebook before I went out there. I was like, hey, I'm heading out to Tillamook. If anybody knows any like cool like veteran meetups or anything like that, there's a whole community of these veterans that live together out there by the beach, and they have of course, the American Legion VFW. Very cool folks. Still to this day, they still invite me back to go to some of these events. Very, very awesome people. Very small town type feel. Very cool people out there. Let's see. Oregon and Washington are both beautiful. The government here and in Oregon are atrocious, but that's for another live stream. Very expensive and not business or middle class friendly with recent tax increases. Yeah, that's unfortunate, man. It is beautiful out there. I would definitely go back in a heartbeat. I was just talking to this Navy veteran, another dude who our kids are on the same team, sports team, and we were talking about traveling. And I did mention to him that I recently went about 2 weeks ago. Went to Guatemala, celebrating my and my wife's 19-year anniversary, and beautiful area, beautiful place. There's also surprisingly like a veteran community out there in parts of Guatemala, and very, very very inexpensive. Like we stayed at this place. It's called Lake Atitlan. You have to take like a little boat taxi to like neighboring villages. And we were looking for some breakfast one morning, so we went to this like local little village, and we saw these ladies making tortillas like on the side of the road. Right, there's a bunch of like locals that were sitting there, just eating. And I think it was for me and my wife, I think it was $6, and we had like a stack of tortillas with like this sausage with eggs mixed with tomatoes, like scrambled eggs with a coffee, and it was like $6 for everything. It was for both of us, it was pretty cheap. And I would go back in a heartbeat. It was just amazing to experience another culture, amazing to just to be in nature, like, and not have to pay an arm and a leg to do that. See, Gunnery Sergeant, if anyone isn't, you should consider being a member of the VFW lifetime memberships. It helps the post near you, and you are always welcome to any VFW anywhere. Yeah, I agree. The VFW by my house is very welcoming, very cool indeed. Anytime I go in there, people are so welcoming. I just was over there for the Marine Corps' 250th birthday, the Marine Corps Ball celebration. Stopped by the VFW, and I won this. They gave me I won an ammo can full of like MREs and stuff because I was wearing the most motivating shirt or something. So I won that. It was pretty fun. Marty Jackson, wow, so congratulations. May you have many, many more beautiful, meaningful years together. I appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you very much. We 19 years went by like that, but my wife put up with this knucklehead young Marine, in my young years, and through a deployment, through constant TADs here and there, just she put up with a lot. So that's all her. Let's see here. Copy this. I'll put this like once or twice more if anybody wants to jump on here. If anybody wants to jump on the live stream and have a conversation with fellow veterans, tell me about your plans for maybe Thanksgiving or the holidays. I think now more than ever, we as a veteran community need to come together and and support each other, especially during the holidays. The holidays can be a tough time for a lot of folks, because it's not just not everybody has a place to go, and we just kind of have to look out for each other. This is a big reason why I started these live streams. We just have to look out for each other. I had to mute it. My dog goes crazy when my wife comes home. So I don't know if she knows how to bark correctly, and she just makes these awful noises. It's not barking, it's just noises. Let me see. Marty Jackson, I've never been to the VFW. A friend of mine, her husband was something in the VFW. It seems it's mainly men and their wives here. Yeah, I've noticed that too. But we can change that. It's open to all, veterans of foreign wars. After 3 years in Maryland, it was time to move after PCSing 6 times in the military. Yeah. That's the rough part of being in the military, is the constant PCSing. I did not like that. I think I moved 5 times while I was in North Carolina, because I went from enlisted to officer. Then we moved from, they didn't have room for us at a base housing. So we moved from living in temporary lodging for about 2 months to enlisted lodging, and then had to move to officer lodging once I finished the officer training, and then ended up purchasing a home, So it was a lot of moves. I'm looking at Idaho or Montana. I grew up in Montana. Both are expensive but amazing places, especially in the Rocky Mountains. Just go the right way, because as we know, if you've seen Dumb and Dumber, you know what I mean. I thought the Rocky Mountains were rockier than this. Nice. We moved 3 times, eventually landing overseas in my senior year. Excellent. New start and reset for certain mental challenges. Yeah. That's the fun part of moving somewhere, like completely new slate. You got a new place to live, get to explore something new. It's just, it's a good feeling. It really is. I like that feeling. Idaho is absolutely beautiful. Just be aware so many have moved there from California. Yeah, well, I have a friend that just moved there too. He was originally from Idaho, and then moved from California back there. So Dumb and Dumber was in Colorado, so I think I'm safe. Excellent. I still watch that movie every so often. Reminds me of my young Marines. Yeah, so anybody out there who is watching in live stream, if you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe to the channel. Again, if you haven't already done so, thank you, Navy Cop. I think Navy Cop has subscribed to the channel like 8 times already. So subscribe, unsubscribe, subscribe, unsubscribe, etc. So thank you for that. But yeah, feel free to jump on the chat and let me know, either on the chat or live stream, and let me know what you got going on for the holidays, for Thanksgiving. Let me know how everything's going for you, the military to civilian transition. This live stream is built for the veteran community to be able to come together to talk a little bit about our experiences, successes, failures, and everything in between, from the time you left the uniform to your civilian career or civilian life now. Did you maybe land in an awesome career, or did you have trouble finding a job along the way? feel free to share your story. Hellfish Haven, quick shout out. You became a YouTube member, man. Thank you very much. That is awesome. Shout out to you. Anybody looking to become a member, there are certain perks associated with it. I will give you first dibs and first view of any video I put out there. And please, if you have any comments or any feedback on potential video topics, let me know. I love researching stuff. I do a lot of writing, a lot of reading, and I always have congress.gov open and follow a whole lot of legislation. So please let me know, and I will do some research on that. Yes. Salute to at Hellfish Haven. Awesome. Much appreciated. And at about 10,000 subscribers, I'll be doing a giveaway. The last giveaway I did at, what was I? I was at, when I hit 7,000 subs, I gave away one of these. I think Navy Cop, you might have been the guy that won it, right? I think it was Brown, though. A little logbook with an insert of a small green logbook in there. So very good piece of gear. I carry mine all the time, and awesome for gifts too. But at about 10,000 subscribers, I don't know what I'm going to be giving away, but it'll be something. Just got to get to there. Hellfish Haven. Let's see. I just added 2 images on Military Retirement Podcast. I'd like to share if cool. Yeah. Where would you like to share it to? Like to my email? Let me know. Marnie Jackson, does that help to subscribe and unsubscribe and do it again, etc.? No, I don't think it does. I was just joking about that because Navy Cop had mentioned, I've already subscribed, and I joked like, subscribe again, damn it, but I don't think it helps. Let's see. Has anyone that has served and got out been told you're overqualified to get hired, or not told you're a loose cannon liability, but used overqualified as a decision not to hire? I've never been told that, at least not to my face. Let's see. Oh yeah, Hellfish Haven. There you go. I'll come on the live stream in a minute. Yeah, absolutely. Let me know if you need the link. If not, I'll provide it again. You're always welcome. Let's see. Oh, what's happening? Navy Cop, waiting for my battle subscriber ribbon with a V device. Yeah, Combat V, man. We'll get you there. Navy Cop, I subscribe to Lady Soldier's YouTube as well. A little forced motivation now to post there, Lady Soldier. Yes, subscribe to that channel. Actually, let me write it down here before I forget. Lady Soldier, can you share that one more time, the name of your channel? We'll get folks on there. She says she's going for quality this time. I'm looking forward to jumping on that. So yeah, we had the last live stream, we had Boston Rob on. He was talking about how Oh, he's making a Ritz cracker pie. I don't know. And sound mock apple pie. It sounds good. I might have to try that. Apparently, there's no apples in it, but it tastes like it. I have to check that out. Let's see what else I got written on here. Okay. So yes, if you're just joining the live stream, please feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out the channel. Get in front of other like-minded veterans like yourself who maybe don't know that something like this exists. And it's just a place to come together, share some talk, some drinks, coffee, whatever you're drinking, and talk about our day, what's going on with our lives, going from military to civilian. Sometimes some folks have a tougher time than others after they leave the service, and that's okay. That's what this channel really is about. Giving out veteran information. Initially, it was to document my military to civilian transition, and then I started enjoying doing these live streams a little bit more and connecting with veterans, and it has become something that I never thought it would become, a place for fellow vets to congregate and talk while sharing stories and some camaraderie. So I truly appreciate all the folks out there who are just joining in on the channel. Very cool. Very cool. Let me see here. Lady Soldier says several channels is the main for games, reactions, etc. This femme fatale, self-love, fitness, health, pop for life, travel are the mains, and aqua. Oh, that's the one. Aqua Bougie Organic Urban Farm. That's the one I was looking for. We got Mike G on the line. Mike G, how's it going?
Hey, how are you?
Hey, hanging out, man. Happy to be here.
I'm trying to get the light to work with me here.
Yeah, no worries, man. So I like the background, man. Where's this supposed to be?
So the background is Liberty Victory in Baghdad, 2007.
Yeah.
As we were getting ready to go out on a convoy, there was somebody staging up right in front of us at the gate, and you can kind of see their trucks a little bit at the bottom there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I said they're lined up at the C wire and the T walls.
Damn. It's a hell of a picture, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So what's new with you, man?
We on the weekend, an organization that gave me a vehicle last year just did the same program again this year for another 7 veterans. So they had their event on Saturday where they had the veterans all get an envelope. They had the cars lined up, and the veterans didn't know which car they were going to receive until they opened up the envelope and saw the title. So it was really cool to be a part of that.
They actually opened up the envelope to a title, like a car title?
Yep.
Oh, shoot. That's cool.
So there was each car was, they're used cars. Then the local Napa gets all the parts, refurbishes them, gets them back up to working speed. The organization New Englanders Helping Our Veterans is nehove.org. They do the vetting of the stories for the veterans in need. And then they put all the names of the eligible veterans into a roller, and then they pull as many recipients as they have cars for. And this year was the largest one of them, doing 7 vehicles. Last year with my group, it was 5 of us that received vehicles. Like I got a 2011 Subaru Forester that only had 70,000 miles on it. So it's been great for us, because before that, we didn't have a vehicle for 9 months. So using Ubers, Lyfts, rent-a-cars, like that was just so pricey that it was huge to be able to get this vehicle and not have to, we were looking at the price of the vehicles at the time, and they wanted $12,000 to $14,000 for a vehicle with over 100,000 miles on it.
Yeah. Things are expensive. What was the name of the organization again?
New Englanders Helping Our Veterans, nehov.org is their website. And the sergeant major that I served with in the military police, He's their vice president. He's also the commander of the VFW post I belong to.
Oh man, yeah, I'm definitely gonna look those guys up. New Englanders helping our veterans.
Yeah,
Awesome. I'm curious to know, and that prompts me to do a search now on any other organizations out there, like different states that do something similar. I've seen things like donate your car and stuff like that, like Kids for Cars. I don't know anything about that organization. I'm not shouting them out or anything like that. I don't know anything about them. But as far as like this one for the veterans, I'm definitely going to do some research on that.
Yeah. That Cars for Kids jingle. Once it gets in your head, it just doesn't leave.
Yeah, and I just I'm wary about shouting out organizations I know nothing of, unless somebody who maybe is on the show or a trusted source kind of vouches for them. I don't know anything about this kids thing. So very cool though. Very cool. New Englanders helping our veterans.
And then also I had the 2 images I posted on the Facebook. I just didn't know if you could do like a screen share. I did one for like getting through the holidays, Thanksgiving. And then I did like a one that's got different like helplines and warm lines available for the winter. Cause I know that the holiday season does tend to be a hard one on our community.
Okay. And where did you share it to?
The military retirement Facebook group.
All right, let's see here what we got here.
I don't think there's a way that I can share it backstage with you.
Yeah, I'm on the site right now. I'm looking at it. Let me see recent activity. November 14th. Was it recent?
I just did it a couple minutes ago.
Wonder if it has. Let's see.
Maybe it hasn't approved it yet.
Yeah, it hasn't even come through for approval yet.
All right. Is there a DM I can, or a place I can send it right here on this setting?
Yeah, hold on a second here. Let's see. Why don't you send it over to the green logbook at gmail.com.
Okay. Just be one second.
Send it over there, and I'm going to reload this here real quick and see if maybe I'm missing something here. Because normally it will only prompt me to approve posts that have like cuss words in them, unless like you wrote something on there, but I'm not getting anything on here. So it's it should be on there. Let's see. Media. Yeah, it's not even in the media part here. The military retirement group, right?
Yep, military retirement podcast group on Facebook.
Oh, okay. You're talking about the podcast. Okay, so
yes,
that's another. That's a different one. Okay, so we have two of them: the military retirement group, and then the military retirement podcast. And then I think John has his own group on there. But let me see what we got here.
And you said the green logbook at gmail.com?
Yeah, you can send it there. Military retirement podcast. We got too many pages, man. I'm going to have to talk to John about that one. Like, hey, man, I'm getting confused now. Yeah, I'm not even seeing it on there, man. Yeah, just send it to my email, and then I'll check it out here.
So just the 4 words, the green logbook at Gmail?
Yep, that's it. The green logbook at gmail.com.
Perfect. Coming now. I'll just attach these.
Pull that beast up here, and then we'll share this thing.
Excellent.
Yeah, let me know when you sent it, and I'll open it up.
Yep, just getting them both into the email right now. 1 and 2, and send email.
Yeah, real quick shout out to Lady Soja. I love how this channel is becoming a conduit for different connections. Yes, this is awesome. Shout out to Marnie Jackson. Thank you for the conversation. I need to jump off. I hope each of you have a meaningful day tomorrow alone or with family. May you all stay safe. Thank you very much for joining us, Marnie Jackson. All right. Yep, I got it here. Okay, so veteran winter helplines. I got that. It's loading now. Let me share this. All right, so we got the veteran winter helplines, warm lines, and crisis support for connection and safety. Okay.
So these are
This
all
is the gear
three
there.
resources that I've personally used and vetted through each to make sure that it is what they advertise it as. The Wounded Warrior project one was actually really nice because during COVID, when everything was shut down and there wasn't so much connectivity and being able to talk to people as often, it was nice to have this like peer group that they would call you. You'd be sick, once a month, bi-weekly, once a week, and they would have another veteran be able to give you a call and chat with you, on your frequency that you were available.
That's awesome.
And then of course
And
the
it's run
crisis
by
line,
a trusted community. Yeah.
crisis line
There's
is
crisis.
the text, chat online, or you can give them a call. And then the Vets to Warriors, they're actually out of Rutgers University in New Jersey, and they have a great peer support program that they're growing. Each day they're trying to get more people in for like ambassadors to be able to share their mission, and like their CEO actually went to like a veterans convention or like it was like in one of those big halls where they have like a bunch of vendors and things like that, and like nonprofits and VA services. And he actually was on stage for one of those and said, "Here's my phone number. Here's my email. Contact me if you have an issue." And it was just nice to see, putting out, their information that, not just being a figurehead, but actually, getting involved in the org.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that's awesome, man. Let me pull up the other one here. Okay, we got the veterans fighting isolation and silencing stigma around the holidays, coping with holiday stress and triggers, silencing the stigma and seeking help. Very cool.
Yeah. And we just wanted to, just give a quick little list of, things to help, break the monotony and to fight the isolation. Because, the biggest thing that we do with Hellfish Haven is either the peer support or is the, to providing that camaraderie. When I saw that on your thing tonight, the camaraderie, made me want to jump in and be able to share, just some of the tips here that we have to be able to, going from having that 24-hour, friend in the barracks and battle buddy in the military to not having that, is a big stressor and a big change in, all of our lives. And it's just, important to be able to have, ways to react and to build, steps to prevent, getting into your own mind and, and going down, a dark spiral.
Yeah, absolutely. And then let me see what other one. I think, is there one more?
I think the last one is just my signature block.
Oh, okay. Okay. Gotcha.
If anybody needs to contact, they're welcome to reach out. bmg@hellfishhaven.org.
bmg@hellfishhaven.org. Awesome. All great resources, man. I appreciate you sharing that with us. And I think Navy Cop mentioned, are you able to send Navy Cop an email with all these?
Absolutely. I think I got him on here, and I will shoot that over to him now.
Awesome. Well, yeah, man, Mike, I appreciate you sharing all that stuff, man.
Absolutely.
Definitely,
Thanks for having me on for a minute.
Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah, this definitely resources that we need around the holidays for veterans. It doesn't matter if you serve 4 years or 40 years, right? We're all, in my eyes, one team, one fight. So we kind of have to look out for each other, especially around the holidays here.
And I gotta get back to the cleaning of the house and getting ready for the parents and in-laws coming tomorrow.
Oh yeah, do your thing, man. Do your thing, man. I appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me. Talk to you soon.
All right, man. You too. Yeah, so excellent information by Mike from Hellfish Haven. Navy Cop, he mentioned he's going to be sending that over to you. So definitely 988, the Veterans Crisis Line, definitely reach out if you need, assistance to any one of these organizations. If you need assistance during the holidays, it is not great to be by yourself. Some of us might be in that situation. And it's not the most fun, but it's a reality, unfortunately. And we just gotta, stick together. If you have like a battle buddy, or do buddy checks and stuff like that, I do that every so often. Make sure you do that during the holidays too. Check on one another. So aside from that, I think I'm coming down to about 2 hours and 30 minutes. Not that I'm counting; it's just in my face on this little live ticker on here. But with that, I think I'm going to near the end here of the live stream. I appreciate everybody reaching out. I appreciate everybody jumping on here and checking out all these resources, having good conversations in the comments. If you have not liked and subscribed to the channel, please do so. It really helps out in getting the community, the channel, in front of a larger audience who may not realize that there is a veteran group here that where they can congregate and meet and talk over coffee or whatever you drink, water, doesn't matter. But yeah, thank you all for coming by, for sharing a good conversation and camaraderie, and not necessarily coffee, because I started a little bit late today. But the next live stream will be on Monday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And more to come on the Military Retirement Podcast, which we usually stream on Sunday mornings at 8 in the morning Pacific Standard Time. With that, thank you all. Have an awesome and happy Thanksgiving. Wish you all the best. Stay safe. Don't drink too much. Don't eat too much. And actually eat all you want, but careful with the drinking. And yeah, stay safe and reach out if you need anything, and definitely use those resources that Mike mentioned. Navy cop to the rescue. Too late. With that, this has been the Green Logbook. Thank you all. Stay safe out there.